how'd you feel your offense performed today?
Well, I think relative to last scrimmage, I thought we just lined up significantly better. You know what I mean? Just in terms of like lining up our operation. Obviously last Saturday we came in and we talked about that. I thought the kids worked hard on it throughout the week, which was really good. So that was considered. I thought again we're getting movement up front, and that's so good, right? Like, that's going to be critical. When CJ was out there, it was really fun to see. I thought he brings a different element to what we're doing, which is great. And I thought Kenny looked a lot more comfortable today. We can still be more explosive in the passing game than like but I thought he looked significantly more comfortable. We made some plays down the field. I thought some guys. There's a couple guys that really made some plays down the field, which was nice. But ultimately, the biggest thing that was the takeaway was, which we haven't done throughout tackle situations, was we put the ball on the ground a couple times. And if you do that, you won't play, right? So like that's just that simple. But outside of that, I thought there were some really good situational things, some guys taking advantage, some really good work, and a big improvement that we carried throughout the week and into Saturday.
Coach Stein was just mentioning the emphasis this week to get Kenny to be more mobile, since he can't get hit, so he might as well run. Just wanted to get your thoughts. I know he's probably certainly not a Jaden Daniels, but he's certainly a little bit more athletic than the Nussmeier.
Yeah. Jeez. Garrett's taking shots in here. That's all right. He deserves them. I'll call and tell him. But I thought he ran. Our goal for him has been he's got to go run 4 or 5, somewhere between 5 and 8 times a game. So to see him, he had a big scramble for about 40 in a 2-minute today. I thought he had a couple vertical scrambles that took us out of maybe a 0 yardage play, put us into 2nd and 6. Type situations, which is huge. That's what he needs to do. He's mobile, and then he allows us the ability to read the C gap at quarterback, which I think he's done all week, and did a nice job this week. That's where we were able to get some good runs vertically on the backside because our ends have slowed down, because of what he did. So he's carried that into scrimmage. That was nice to see, right? He's using his feet. I think he's got to just continue to do it. That's the hardest part about quarterback when you're not in a game situation for a guy who hasn't played games for a while. You're in a jersey here. It's black, right? Notre Dame was probably some other color, right? And you don't get hit, right? So you get to stand back there and feel comfortable. So you don't necessarily you kind of lose that, and that's been my challenge to him, is making sure we regain that. And I thought he did a lot more of that today, which was really nice.
Joe, have you started to see any separation yet in the backup quarterback battle?
I think all the guys have done some good things. I think Callan did some really good things again today. I thought he ripped a couple seam balls, threw some vertical balls. He had a couple guys make some freaky plays for him, which was nice of him, right? But I definitely think he's getting more comfortable running the team. I think Brennan brings some athleticism to the position, which is nice. And then you see Matt continuing to come along. Matt throws the ball really well, so just like to see him continue to progress throughout. The rest of this next week, and then also the season, right? Like his progression shouldn't stop. But I think Cal is definitely, getting better and better and better and more comfortable, which is really nice. But we'll continue with that throughout the week and see where those guys continue. I think we would play towards their strengths, right? If we were in those situations. So I think different guys bring different things to the table.
How's the wide receiver room coming along?
Well, it's been nice to see Nick running routes this week, and he'll be back up there, just really rocking and rolling, which is really nice. I think DJ being back this week has made some plays down the field. I thought he made one today, had an opportunity to make another. Thought he could have, but he made him this week in practice, which was really nice. So just giving us a little bit more of a vertical threat. And I think he has that big body. He does a nice job of giving a friendly target that way. Shane has consistently been something, showing up every day in practice. But the guys we've talked about before, too, in terms of maybe some guys that you don't always talk about, but Prince, Brock, they consistently make plays. We've talked about Kenny Darby, we've talked about DJ and Shane and Nick, but Brock and Prince have consistently made plays throughout camp. They did again today, so that was great, right? We're going to need all those guys, and when the ball comes to them, you got to make the play. Prince made some really nice plays today. Brock made a one-handed grab around a guy that was something pretty cool to see. So, but they've done it all camp. Whatever you do in practice is what you're doing when we get out here. So, I think the bottom. I don't want to say the bottom, but the depth of that room continues to rise, which is really, really important. because we're going to ask those guys to block on the perimeter a lot, right? For us to be an explosive run game, and they all got to be ready to go in that regard.
Coach Stein told us that Mizell's out for the season. Is that why you guys bring in 2 running backs right before fall camp, just because the position's just so brutal?
Yeah, it's a violent position. You get hit consistently, and I think we have to prepare. The thing will be one, right? It's how good is your first 11 to 14 players, but then throughout the season you're going to get challenged based on how your depth is and the development. And one, I think the way we practice, the way we prepare, has allowed a lot of our down the line guys to get a ton of reps, which is critical. And then we'll have to continue that throughout the season. That's why we have, that's why you see staff so big nowadays and all that, right? So those guys can continue to progress. But it's a position that's going to get injured at times, right? And you have to prepare accordingly. But I know I said this earlier. It's been nice to see CJ back out there and rocking and rolling. He's a big man, and I've been proud of him. He's been through a lot. So what he's been able to do and watch him come back this week, he just seems to be having a lot of fun, which is awesome.
Sergeant, what
Thank
kind
you.
of look does he give you when he's doing his best version of himself?
Well, he's like, 6'2". I'm not that tall, so like when you get above 6 foot, they all look about the same. It's like 6'2", 6'1.5", 230. He's just a big kid, and lateral cuts, and he just brings a lot of experience and presence. He's played a lot of games. Things don't surprise him, which I think is just huge. But that goes along with the physical talent. So. I'm excited for him this year. I think he's gonna have a lot of fun. He got some dudes up in front to block for him. Those guys have done a really good job coming together, playing as a group, which has been fun to see.
Joe, other than Jordan Knox, has there been an offensive lineman that maybe wasn't on the radar that's really elevated in this camp?
Yeah, I think I referenced Hayes last week. I think also going back and watching the tape from last Saturday, and then we'll see again today. But I think Jake keeps coming, which is really good. He's a young guy, and you want to see that happen, right? And I've been excited for that because I think when he was coming off, he dealt with a little I wouldn't call it an injury back in January, February. So as he went into spring, he wasn't as in shape as he needed to be, and I think he's worked hard. And I think really about the last week of camp or so, he really started to progress and go on the upswing, which has been good. We need that. We need that. And that, again, that just gives us flexibility with Olas too, right? Because Olas is a multi-position player, which is really important.
Joe, another guy that Coach Stein said is full go now is Tegra. Just what does he look like when he's out there and just able to completely go without any limitations?
Again, like I go back to when you got, Tegra and Colton and Lance and CJ and Nick and Willie and those guys, they've played in a lot of football games with people in the stands. And that's really important because they know exactly how they respond in those environments, and I think Tegra brings that kind of stability. But he's talented. He is crazy talented. He's violent. He's got good feet, and I think the challenge to him when he got here was to elevate his game from a consistency standpoint, and I think we've seen him do that. And so it's been good to get him back out there. I'm glad he's fully healthy now and really ready to roll, which has been great for him.
Joe, this far into fall camp, is there a part of the offense that the players have maybe forced you to rethink because they're better than you thought they would be?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. I think the thing is, right, we'll always tailor to different things that we're good at, and different ways to necessarily complete the football at a high level, but then also different ways to push the ball down the field. We adapt, right? We adapt. I think the most interesting thing has just been, it probably starts with the run game, what our O-line and our running backs are good at, and then moving back off of that, and then what makes the quarterback feel comfortable. And then the last piece is fitting in where can we now put guys in mismatch situations so that so trying to use the different pieces. And I think watching what receivers come along, which sets do they allow us to get in and their best out of. So, yeah, I think we continually adjust. And I think that will be something constant throughout the year based on who's healthy, who's available, who's playing well, and trying to put them in the right situations that we can.
Coach, next Saturday, Will said you guys are going to have a mock game day set up. Will that include the way the sideline communicates with the press box and vice versa, all the comms set up and that sort of thing?
It will. The last two Saturdays have been that way. So because next Saturday will be a little more of a mock game. So the last 2 Saturdays have been that way. The only thing is what we don't get. The only thing we don't get on scrimmage days is the in-between series communication and the flow of that. Everything else we get because you got to, we have there's a Kentucky offense on the field at all times during these scrimmages. So I just got to keep calling ball plays. So that doesn't change. So that's been really good. And it's important for us, right? I mean, we have a lot of really good coaches here, but a lot of coaches that, it's not like we all came from one place, right? So working together and the communication, which I think has been great. You guys have done a great job, and Coach Stein's been awesome. And obviously he's having to run the flow of the scrimmages, right? So, just having him where we can all talk a little bit more, which will be good. But that's going to happen on game day. But that's natural, right? I mean, we've all done it before.
Coach,
Last one.
Prince Jane's come up quite a few times
Mm-hmm.
this afternoon. What exactly does he bring to the table? And I think you used him in some unique ways in the spring too. Does he have some versatility to him?
He definitely has versatility. I mean, one he's tough. So he's tough and competitive, and he's available, pretty much at all times, right? Which is really important because he keeps getting better. But when the moment come up, and you have an opportunity to make a play, more often than not, he's made the play. And I think that's the thing, right? Like you get in these pressure situations, and they can be in practice. I mean, we talk about game-like environment and all that, but ultimately, these guys want to be successful in practice too, and gets in pressure situations in practice, and it's one-on-one, and has an opportunity to make a play. He's continually made plays, and that's awesome. I mean, we need that, right? We need that out of our young guys, and I think we'll continue to see him he's been able to do it on the outside, on the inside, right, and just really move around and create a lot of versatility for us, which I think has been good. You don't always get that necessarily with a young guy. Usually they kind of one position and stick to it. But he's shown the ability to move around, which has been great.